Hey everyone, Snowflake got a new CEO at the helm, so I thought it'd be interesting to take a look inside and see what's going on with Snowflake. So let's take a look at the latest details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
Alright, so Snowflake's latest CEO has been there for 1 quarter now. Sridhar Ramaswamy said that my first quarter as CEO has been focusing on these things, and that is to listen and to learn from our customers, drive execution and alignment with our go-to-market teams, and fueling innovation and product delivery. So far in the first quarter, those are the things the CEO has been focused on. So it's interesting to see what develops from the new CEO, what new strategies becomes implemented following these initial learnings from the new CEO. Of course, the new CEO realizes the opportunity with data and artificial intelligence and saying that what's exciting about AI is that it can turbocharge our capabilities and growth on all three layers. The CEO sounded optimistic, saying that we are still in the early innings of our plan to bring our world-class data platform to customers around the globe. And in the first quarter alone, we saw some of our largest customers meaningfully increase their usage of our core offering. And that was a key insight there. Our core customers meaningfully increased their usage of our core offerings. And that's something I've been paying attention to with Snowflake over the last, I want to say, 6 quarters, maybe 8 quarters, maybe a little bit longer. I've noticed that Snowflake had been talking about their largest customers, and overall their customers have been decreasing consumption. They've been finding or looking for ways to decrease how much they spend on their data, the data storage and data analysis, all of which. One interesting thing that happened, I want to say 3-4 quarters ago, was a large customer, they noted, decided to decrease the amount of years of data they keep. So this large customer had kept their data for 7 years. That was their policy, to keep data going back 7 years. But they reviewed that policy and said, look, this older data is not valuable to us compared to the cost. The cost of storing, maintaining, structuring that data is more costly than the value we're getting. So instead of keeping 7 years of data, we're only going to keep 5 years of data from now on. And so that's 2 years of less data. And of course, less data is being stored means less data is being analyzed and consumption is decreasing. And if every company were to decrease their data storage policy, that would be bad news for Snowflake. So I was paying attention to if this was going to become a widespread thing, or if it was just a near-term cost-saving move that companies were implementing, because remember in late 2022, there was rising fears of a recession after the Federal Reserve increased interest rates. So businesses started looking at ways they could cut costs, and that was one area they cut spending on. But it didn't accelerate, and now it's good news to see that Snowflake is saying that their largest customers are increasing consumption again. So they're not in the reduction stage anymore, they're now in the increasing stage. So that's good news. Snowflake saying that product revenue for the quarter increased 34% to $790 million. And more importantly, RPO, remaining performance obligations, jumped to $5 billion, and that was growth of 46% year over year. Remaining performance obligations eventually turn into revenue over time. And to see remaining performance obligations increasing faster than revenue suggests that revenue growth could accelerate from here on out. And we get further evidence that revenue growth could accelerate from here on out because management is increasing their product revenue outlook for the year. So given what they saw from the first quarter, they said, look, the rest of the year, is shaping to be much better than we thought, given what we've seen so far year to date. So that was good news as well for Snowflake. So the CEO talked about some new products, one of which is Cortex. Their AI layer is now generally available, and they announced that early in May. And then Iceberg and Snowpark container services, as well as hybrid tables, all will be generally available later this year. So new product offerings coming out for Snowflake, which will make its services more attractive to some of their customers. And it will remain to be seen the adoption of these services and whether or not these services accelerate growth for Snowflake, or if they cannibalize existing business, if they take from their existing business and they move it towards these newer services. So this is something I'll be keeping an eye out for throughout this year. So for Cortex, so far, over 750 customers are using these capabilities. For instance, one use case is Sigma Computing, which uses Cortex language models to summarize and categorize customer communications from their customer relationship management. And that could save the company a lot of time having to go through these customer communications individually. Having this service summarize and categorize these communications can really help a company. Let's say they have thousands and thousands of customer emails, and they can go through all of them and summarize, 62% of these emails are relating to some outage we had in the second week of February. Okay, so now we understand better why we were getting all of these emails during a certain time, and we can understand what was the cause, and we can either say we fixed it or we didn't fix it, we need to address it, whatever the case might be. It really helps businesses save time by finding out the cause without having to go through all of those individual documents. So the company has the Document AI service, which helps customers find value in extracting features on the fly from piles of documents. This is another helpful service Snowflake can provide business, save time, and learn about what all of these documents contain, search them, and find out what insights they can and what insights they reveal. And finally, nearly a third of Snowflake customers are sharing data products as of Q1 2025. That's up from 24% a year ago. And the more of their customers that share their data, the more robust Snowflake's marketplace becomes, data marketplace becomes, the more available data there is. And that will attract other businesses that want to be on the other side of that equation, buying those data products that are available. Now, Snowflake offers support for structured and unstructured data, and the unstructured data is really the one that's valuable for businesses, because to take unstructured data and convert it to structured data takes time, energy, and resources from a business. If you can just process unstructured data, that saves the company the expense of having to structure that data. So that's a service that will be valuable for businesses worldwide. And now about 40% of their customers are processing unstructured data on Snowflake. I wouldn't be surprised if this number moves higher, because that process of structuring data is time consuming, and a lot of businesses might just shift that responsibility over to Snowflake instead of doing that in-house before sending it over to Snowflake for processing. So it looks like the new CEO has a plan, has things going in the right direction, and I'll be watching closely to see how these newer products are getting into the market, and the remaining performance obligation increase, I hope, will sustain for more quarters. I want to see that remaining performance obligation growth exceed revenue growth for the next few quarters, and thereby lifting revenue growth over the longer term. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.